Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this panel session. This is Andreas Konstantinidis, head of More Than 160, and today we are going to discuss with some marvelous guests that we have here physically and online about the favorite topic of platforms, CPaaS platforms, wholesale platforms, enterprise platforms, you name it. Because recently, with all of the changes that happen in the industry, you know, the platforms and the tools around the platform are the most specific elements of the development of the business messaging. So I'm going to introduce the people first, and then I'm going to give 10 minutes to Tim from XConnect in order to have a short speech about some tools. And we'll get back for the question. So I'm starting with the guy that I have next to me. It's Scott Warner. Hello, Scott.
Hi.
You can introduce yourself.
Sure. My name's Scott Warner. I'm the Director of Emerging Services at S&BTS. We're a joint venture between SoftBank and Business Telecommunication Services. My role covers pretty much everything related to our new CPaaS offering with a specific focus on messaging.
Okay, that's good. Ellen, hello, Ellen. How are you?
Good morning.
Doing?
How are you?
All good?
Good.
Nice to see you here.
Thank you. I'm Ellen. I'm Managing Director of Telexera. We are a messaging solutions provider based in Switzerland, and we offer white label enterprise messaging services.
Very hot.
Yes, very hot at the moment.
Okay, I'm going to jump in because you're going to be the last. And I'm going to Etienne from Viber. Hello, Etienne.
Hi guys. So just to introduce myself, so I'm Etienne. I'm Senior Director of Business Messaging Solutions at Viber. So in charge of B2B marketing and direct sales.
Great. Where are you located?
I'm based in Paris.
In Paris, okay, great. So let's move to Kevin from Vonage.
Hi, Andreas.
Hi, Kevin.
Excited to see you all. I hope you're all enjoying the event in London. My name's Kevin Graham. I'm the General Manager for Messaging at Vonage, one of the largest cloud communications platforms in the world.
Great, thank you very much. And Martin, hello Martin, Deutsche Telekom.
Yes, hello. Thank you for letting me join this round. So yeah, I'm Martin Repp. I'm a product manager for Rich Business Messaging Services at the Deutsche Telekom Group. Hello.
Great. Thank you, Martin. So last but not least, it's Tim Ward from XConnect. He is going to share with us some valuable information, and he's going to introduce himself as well. The stage is all yours, Tim.
First thing I have to do is get my tablet to recognize my thumbprint, which is the most important.
Great, and also you have to go a little bit closer to the microphone, please.
And for those of you who might not know XConnect, a number of you do. I look around and I know a good number of you are familiar with us as a company. But it's probably easier to say what we don't do. We don't transport any messages. We don't terminate it. We don't transport or terminate any form of traffic. Our job is just to provide information. We bring together information from many different sources, regulatory sources, operators themselves, administrations that are managing, numbering information around the world. We bring all of that together, aggregate it, and make it easily accessible to our customers. So our job is really that of, well, give me a telephone number, and I will tell you which network operator is responsible for it, how to get to it, whether it's accessible, some of the characteristics of that particular number. So as you can imagine, as we're talking about this subject, it's really our customers that I'm kind of almost talking about. It's not ourselves, we're not a platform provider, but virtually all of our customers are. This is the business that they're in providing services either to enterprise or to other carriers in providing connectivity and distribution of that sorts of information. And I thought really, as sort of to help Andreas and kind of get this conversation kicked off, one of the things that I constantly look at is kind of what is changing. What are the characteristics of our marketplace and the characteristics of the customers that we're dealing with? And I kind of pick out three big changes, three big areas that are moving. I think the first is, if you look at the traditional A2P players, the those who are really providing sort of either aggregation or hubbing or enterprise type services, the big characteristic there has been acquisition, consolidation. We've seen those companies coming together. We've seen the larger guys buy the smaller guys. We've seen the smaller guys almost doing a reverse buyout of some of the largest. We've seen large global technology companies buying into this particular space. And I think, that is a very clear sign when you see that sort of dynamic change going on in the ownership. It's a clear sign that, well, use the English phrase, something is afoot. Something is going on. There is a great interest in this because money is exchanging hands at the corporate level. I think a second area that we've really seen changing are the mobile operators themselves. The MNOs, they're in a slightly different position. Their business has been about voice and subscribers and providing access services to you and me, the ordinary people. And when you look at their messaging revenues, one of the research companies, Mobile Squared, they were saying about 1.7% of MNO revenue is coming from messaging. You could say that's peanuts, hardly anything by comparison with voice and other types of services. But I think the interesting point is it's one of the few areas that is absolutely growing, not just year on year, but month on month. It's a sector that the MNOs themselves are saying, okay, this is an up and coming area. It's right for us to invest in this space. But they're in a difficult position. They want a bit of that pie. They want some of that market area, which is showing very strong signs of life. The challenge for them is how to get started quickly. When we look at that first sector, the A2P players, they've been doing this probably 10 years, something like that. I was maybe a little older in this marketplace, but they've established businesses, they've got experience, they've got reputation, they're known and loved by their enterprise customers. When it comes to the MNOs, they're completely new to this. So what they're looking for is almost a quick start. They somehow have got to go from nothing to a full-blown service almost overnight. And I think that's a huge challenge. And I think that's also driving a strong approach to platforms. They're not in a position to build the piece by piece. They can't focus on one bit at a time. They've got to enter into this marketplace with a fully formed, ready to go service set. So I feel that is a major driver for this conversation. And then I think the third segment we come across are kind of a fascinating segment. I see this as the global wholesale providers, the traditional carriers, rather different from the MNOs. The MNOs tend to be very nationally focused. They might be a group and have a number of countries, but they're generally regionally focused. When you look at the wholesale players, they've got a global position. And in all honesty, that's their greatest asset. They've got this global coverage. They've got connections everywhere. They've got customers everywhere. They've got a wholesale business, which is really tough. The margins have been squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. The competition has pushed them into difficult places. And they're looking at how they redefine their service set. And one of the areas we've really seen them moving into, well, one I'd describe almost as marketplace services. They're providing platforms that provide instant, ready-made access to a number of different services. They're really offering to their global enterprise customers a portfolio of services which you can just kind of turn on and be able to select almost from a portal and say, I would like to provide SMS A2P messaging. How do I deliver this? How do I sign up for this? How do I get this as you mentioned the word, as a white label service? And I think those global carriers are in a fantastic position as a marketing channel. They've got the coverage, they've got the range, they've got the scope, they've also got quite deep pockets and are in a position to invest in this marketplace and make it happen. So when I sort of look at these, well, I'm only picking three. Those are three dynamics, but they're all pretty dynamic. They're not just sitting there. This isn't just a static marketplace turning on at its own rate. It's got a whole new set of characteristics driven by these changes. And I think they're very complex changes. How do these players, you've got the traditionals, you've got these new entrants, they're competing with each other directly. How do they compete with each other? And if there's one message which I think is absolutely key, and I think I'd said this to Andres before we were sort of setting up this, if there's one sort of single word And the area in which these different players are trying to differentiate, it's not actually on cost, it's on quality. Quality is coming first. They've got to be able to show that they'll provide a better service, that they will provide better coverage, that they will provide more accurate, more timely, whatever, more. It's going to be quality. It's going to be that measure of quality that really differentiates them. So if there's anything I kind of would leave as maybe a little bit of a theme that we end up talking about, these changes, the dynamic marketplace, the growth, the introduction of new competition, and quality as a differentiator. Andres, if I hand over at that point, might have actually managed to keep it under 10 minutes, which is unheard of for me if you know me well. Thanks very much.
Good, thank you very much, Tim. So I would like to say something. If we're talking about, I don't know why you focus only to mobile network operators and you didn't focus also to the aggregators, because I think that the mobile network operators are going to have traffic no matter what, because somebody's going to bring this traffic to them. You know what I mean?
It's going to come through then. You're absolutely right, yeah.
Yeah, but you mean that they also need to upgrade. This is what you need. This is what you mean.
As I said, I picked on three, which I think is where there's most almost pivoting of businesses. I probably should add in, there's probably 20 others that I can add into that list. And the aggregators are definitely one of those, because I think those aggregators, they are having to sharpen up their act continuously. They can't just expect to get the continued business. And that is being driven by the dynamics of these other players. They're going to lose some of that market. I think there's also a move towards direct connectivity, particularly in the messaging marketplace. That has actually been almost ahead of the voice market, wherein voice hubs and aggregated had played an absolutely critical part. They're beginning to see that erode now. There's more direct connectivity. But in the messaging space, whoever has got direct connection to the largest number of MNOs is kind of king.
I see. Okay, good, great. So, thank you, Tim. Helen, hi. Let's see what happened in the business messaging ecosystem nowadays, okay? We have omni messaging platforms, we have multi-messaging platforms, we have CPaaS platforms, okay? And since 2 years ago that Jose indicated the difference between omni and multi, I remember that panel. Well, the people are still confused about it. Can you enlighten us, please?
Absolutely. I think we all know in the industry that the words are used completely interchangeably and very liberally. Basically, anything that involves more than one channel is already an omni-channel or a seamless experience, and nobody really has a grasp of what the three are. And I think if you actually Googled it and started looking for definitions, you would also struggle to find any two definitions that actually look the same. From my perspective, I would say that multi-channel is a marketing construct. I mean, it's not a new one. It was used in the old days between print media and television advertising, different channels to market. And of course, in more recent times, that includes all the different social media channels, SMS, and so on. But those channels are relatively separated. So I think in multi-channel, you're using one channel, and then you're probably going to another platform to use another channel, and you're having to move that customer data that you've collected from one channel to another. Omni should take all of that and put it under one roof, so that you have the customer data in one place, so that you're targeting multiple channels completely seamlessly, that you're targeting the customer in the channel that they want to receive it in, obviously. I think that the CPaaS side is, again, a little bit different. I think that's more on the communication side rather than the marketing side. And I think there you also need to integrate the voice and the video applications as well.
Good.
So did I get it right?
Yes, you're really very good. I'm glad for you.
Thank you.
So, Kevin, all of those changes, do you think that telcos, they are ready for this? Are they ready to? They already adjusted in this new ecosystem?
Well, I think the operators have got different characteristics. So Martin's organisation, for example, have many years of experience of investing in the kind of partnerships they need to put in place to make this happen. Whereas obviously there are other operators that are somewhere near the start of their journey when it comes to whether it's basic messaging or evolving into the rich messaging environment that we all see evolving in front of our eyes. So for me, I think it's important that operators understand what they're capable of delivering and what they're not capable of delivering, and finding experts who can support them. And I think on this panel, you've got some of my industry colleagues representing various businesses with lots of different kind of capabilities that and experience and exposure to enterprise messaging streams. And I think when we as a channel talk to our customers and then we take those messages and we kind of almost collate all the information, the trends, the requirements, and we talk to the operators, that's the value that a lot of us bring around the table. So in answer to your question, that they're definitely not all ready. Some of them are more ready than others.
I see. Let me go to Etienne. Etienne, which are the crucial factors for efficient messaging delivery? What do you think about it?
I mean, from Viber being, let's say, not the middleman, but at the end of the whole ecosystem. I mean, obviously the brands, they will have first to select which messaging partners they want to work with, and depending on where their audience are, obviously, what are the tools or apps they are using, and what type of communications they want to have with their users. I mean, one of the biggest, I think, change is the fact that everything can lead to discussions, and the industry is shifting from A2P services where brands were sending messages without users really replying to them to more extended solutions where users are going to ask them questions, are going to reply them, to challenge them, and this is quite crucial for brands to select tools that will enable them to manage such communications level.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something. How leader do you think as a company, because you were the first one started this game, the OTT?
Yes.
Do you feel a big leader or just a leader?
I mean, we are leader in countries where we have strong market penetration. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm leader in France. That would not be the truth first. But we have strong market penetrations in many Eastern European countries, in couple APAC geos, where Vibers is the gate for many brands to manage relationship with their users.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much, Tien. Let's go to, who is here? Scott Warner.
Yep.
It's you here.
Oh, is it me?
Okay. Good. I want you to tell us a little bit more about the CPaaS in order to understand the difference, to see what's happening over there. Okay?
Yeah, I think I'm probably quite interestingly positioned in the joint venture at the moment because we have the operator side of the business, we have the wholesale carrier side of the business, and then we have kind of our links into the investment part of the business, which I'm going to call the enterprise part of the business. So we have kind of the three almost areas that Tim identified at the very beginning.
Do that on purpose.
Yeah, well, thank you. But yeah, and when I look at how we all talk about communications platforms and telecommunications, and we're really like an insular bunch here because we talk a lot about delivery and message delivery and sender ID and all of these very fancy terms to do with delivery reports and SS7, SMPP, all of these words. But actually, I prefer to look at it as who in the end is paying our salaries. It's the originators of this traffic. And so when I look at building a communications platform, I think about what does an enterprise actually want out of this platform? What's the expectation? And the expectation isn't generally about DLR percentages. The expectation is what's the use case? How do we measure the return of investment of this use case? And how can we understand as an enterprise, is this service good or bad? And I think what Tim mentioned when we talk about direct connectivity, that shift is also related to those enterprises saying they don't know if someone's good or bad because there's 150 people that they talk to every week about delivering SMS. So I think when I look at communications platforms and CPaaS, the key thing that we're doing is we're trying to position that as a flexible solution for enterprises, designed for enterprises to use.
I'm very, very happy because after so many years, we start talking on the panel, in this panel, in the panels in general, about the one who pays the bill. Because 2 years ago, nobody gave a shit who is paying the bill.
Yeah.
You know, they were selling the SMSs and the routings and the platforms and everything. But, you know, nobody care really who is the one who is consuming this traffic.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I come from an aggregator background, right? So I've spent like the last 10 years doing routing and commercially intelligent things, let's say, on the routing side. So, you know, it's still important for us in order to manage our business, but I always think that we need to remember who at the end of the day is actually buying this service.
Yeah, this is very, very critical. Thank you, Scott. So let's go to Martin. Martin, tell us about the rich messaging communication, the holy grail of Google. You know, is it something like this, huh? Tell us about it. What is happening? I mean, is it happening all around the globe? Is it happening only in the moon, in Mars?
Yeah, sure.
You must give us...
As you might have known, the DT just announced, I think it was a month ago or 6 weeks ago, a big partnership together with Google. So in order to drive rich business messaging forward here. So we are now completely live in Germany. We are rolling out in our eastern branches. So I think we see a very big, bright future of this service. But I think what I see here, what is really important to understand is that this service will not run because it's there, because we have the technical ability to serve it and have great platforms. No, it's about education. It's about to convince decision makers at the brand to understand what they can do with this tool. First, they need to understand what they intend to achieve with a campaign, for example. There's a totally difference if you do retention management or service, or if you want to have access to new customers and so. And this all makes a decision or drives a decision which channel would be the best for what you want to achieve. If you have, for example, you know that the customers you want to achieve are in Eastern NATCO and are all using Viber, then a brand choose Viber. If you want to have your customers in your house, which are already a customer of all the big operators, then you choose, for example, rich business messaging from your operator to have an interaction, and so on. And this is a learning curve where we are currently in the middle of it. So it's not the question what is the best or the worst or this kind of stuff. I think it's a common production platform which is still growing, and it's only successful for all of us here in the round, for the operators, for the CPaaS providers, and for aggregators, everybody here, is to educate customers, to make them understand what they can do and how they can use it, and what they have to do internally in order to be ready to use it. These are the three things we believe.
Let me ask you something. Can you define the decision makers? Because you said they need to decide, they're people, the decision makers, they need to do things. Can you define who they are? Are you talking about from the mobile operator's point of view? Are you talking about the enterprise? What do you mean? Who are they?
Who are they? The brands, I think, from the customer, the one who pays the bill at the end of the day.
Okay.
It's the customer, and the customer, it's a brand, it's a marketing department, it's product management somewhere. Or customer relationship, or it's customer care people. All the parts in big brands where they need to define how to communicate with their customers in an optimized way. an omni-channel way. And this, I do not think that it is fully understood. As somebody said in this round, they talk to 190 people a week, yeah, and at the end of the week, they know nothing. And if you know nothing, if you have too many choices, what do you do when you have too many choices? You stick to what you have learned to. You write an email, you call them, or you send an SMS, full stop, because that is what you understand. But you're not open for the new innovation here.
I see, Martin, you triggered me, so I will stay with you for a little bit, if you don't mind, okay? So let me ask, okay, Viber started about 5 years ago. WhatsApp already is dealing with rich messaging. You know, the people they're really aware about it. You know, they're the markets. We know where Viber is strong. We know where WhatsApp is strong, Zalo and all of the other, Telegram, blah, blah, blah. Tell me something, how a mobile operator or an operator or a mobile operator, okay, a huge mobile operator like Vodafone or like Deutsche Telekom or is going to contribute in order for the end customer finally to consume this product? I'm talking about prices.
Well, when you talk about prices, then we have to say, for example, for a session in Germany, that I can tell you, it's about 7.6 cents. And this is much cheaper than what WhatsApp is charging for it. So we are on the pricing level, totally compatible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Good. Okay. I'm leaving you now. Don't cry, okay?
No, I don't cry.
Okay. I wanna go back to Tim, and I will ask you, how SMS providers will ensure the quality after all? The SMS providers, okay?
Sure. The SMS providers. I think, obviously, a lot of what has been talked about here is up at the business level, actually meeting the business needs, and that is the fundamental. I have to admit, we take it down.
Do you think that are they really very aware about the quality? Among us, okay, we're not going to say out loud.
Well, the good news is they must be aware.
Yeah.
Because we're doing quite well. And if you're not worried about the quality of your delivery, you can just send a message out and hope it arrives. And I think, this whole piece of putting your feet in the shoes of your customer, of the guy who pays the bill, and saying, what does he want? What does he expect? Well, he expects the message to be delivered. He expects it to be delivered in the way that the customer wants it, and he expects it to be delivered quickly, on time, snappy. It's got to be instant. So right down at that, well, I'll call it the plumbing level, the real basic level of transport of the network, that is one of the fundamentals of the quality and the way that I think many customers really do measure their service providers in some of those basic metrics. And, that's exactly where having the best information is the key to that. You've got to provide that information. It's got to be up to date. It's got to be live. It's got to be information that helps you achieve those three ends, making sure it got delivered on time, right way. So, I think those are a fundamental set of tools. They're not the fundamental set. There's a whole range of other areas. But, that is one thing which I think, you can look at data. I mean, I would make another point about that, which is data is not data. There's different grades of information. And that's why we make such a point of quality, in that you might have thought that there were authoritative sources of information for routing traffic, but that would be nice. It would make our life a lot easier. The reality of it is the quality of the basic sources varies a great deal. So you actually need someone to be an expert to curate that data, to ensure that it is reliable, that it's accurate, that it's all the gaps are filled in, all the nasty things that happened in networks that shouldn't happen, but do happen, that those are dealt with and you don't need to worry about it. So I think, those are some tools obviously very close to our heart. That's what we try to do, provide that level of information and that level of management, data management, to ensure you're getting the right information at the right time.
I see. So one for sure, that Martin, he was talking about the training the people, but in fact, it's also the wholesale industry that has to be trained. Okay, because there is a lot of buzzwords and a lot of things and a lot of new trends and a lot of prices and a lot of qualities. And sometimes, we really need to train them and to say all the time what they have to do and how they have to do it. And eventually, we're going to end up with some good qualities, hopefully. So,
Can I just jump in here quickly?
You can jump,
I think
of course.
there's one part on quality of service that is often missed. I think that everything that Tim has just said is obviously true, but I also think that it's a given. The customer expects it. They never doubt the quality of the service of the platform or the quality of the service of the delivery. But what we're seeing a lot more with customers is their demand for quality on the customer services side, on the customer care side. And I think that there's a big pressure, particularly on some of the bigger aggregators now, to reach out to those customers and to be able to help them when they're running campaigns, rather than what can happen is they're talking to online bots or online chat services trying to figure out why their campaign isn't getting released properly or why they've managed to end up sending 5 SMS rather than 1 SMS. I mean, we see it certainly with the marketing customers. There's a real demand for hand-holding and for customization and really to make them feel like they're wanted by the customer. And I think that's quite a challenge for the bigger aggregators who obviously need to have everything automated to keep everything moving.
Yeah, in fact, many things have changed. And yes, nice to mention the two-way of communication, that it's nowadays the big trend. Because a few years ago, It was just one SMS going up, this is it. Yeah. Martin, let me ask you something. Can you say I'm back to you again? Is the session 24 hours?
Yes.
Okay, good, thanks. So guys.
That was easy.
No, because I thought that the price, it's really reasonable. And I thought maybe it's a 2 hours, 2 hour session,
No,
Okay, good. Yeah, because last time I was hearing about 20 cents or 19 cents or something like this. That's why I wanted to check with you. Thank you, Martin. So guys, last question for all of you. We're going to make it a bit different. I want you to think about 3 words concerning the business messaging future. 3 words, no matter what kind of words are going to. Okay, don't curse, okay? Just 3 words. I will start with who? I will start with Martin, okay.
Just 3 words it's gonna be great.
Thank you, Martin. It's gonna be great. It's 5 words, but it's okay. So I keep the one great. The future is going to be great.
Sorry, did you say it's going to be great?
Gray.
Good question.
I hope so.
Great.
Okay, it's gonna be great. Okay, thank you, Martin. Okay, let's go. Okay, Scott, next to me.
Opportunity,
Yeah.
focus,
Okay.
and flexibility.
Opportunity, focused, and flexibility. Thank you. Ellen?
Just to expand, I think, when we look, because they're rather than just random words, I think we have an opportunity at all layers of this business. And, we talked at the beginning about these big players, and Ellen identified, these big players, there's always opportunity where they maybe have weakness. There's focus, we look at regional focus, we look at vertical focus, and you see like all these players within business verticals, within specific countries, there's all of these focused opportunities. And what was my 3rd word?
You say?
Flexibility. And then we talk about the customers. We have to understand that each customer has a different expectation, and we need to be flexible to that.
Okay. This is the nice scenario. Up to the voice providers are going to come in SMS and they're going to ruin it completely.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's okay. Good. So I'm going to who? To Ellen.
To me. Okay.
Yes.
I would say customer, customized,
Okay.
and flexibility, for sure.
Okay. That's good. Thank you. Etienne?
Yeah.
It's your turn.
I would say conversational.
Come again. Because with your English friends, we're not. Yeah, come again. Try to make it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was saying conversational.
Conversational. Okay.
Customer centric. and real time.
What was the second? Customer-centric.
Customer-centric, yeah.
I'm not going to read my letter after that.
Yeah.
In real time. Okay, but I'm making an effort. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Etienne. Kevin?
So I'm going to take a leaf out of Martin's book and describe it and just say that it will be of its time. Those three words. And what I mean by that is my children and the next generation and the generations beyond them are going to communicate in a very different way with the businesses that they are clients of, compared to my generation and generations before me. This very, very one-dimensional, transactional kind of utilitized process of messaging, which we all love and we've all worked in and all enjoyed being part of for quite some time, is changing, and the opportunity is really all about being of its time and making sure that consumers can communicate with mobile operators, with their via mobile operators and via the ecosystem in the channels that they enjoy using in their daily life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Do you think that we are fast enough as an industry, Kevin?
I think we're pretty fast. I think that the speed of innovation and change and agility in our industry compared to others and in our part of the industry.
Where are you located?
I'm actually in Malaga.
Where?
Malaga in Spain.
Malaga in Spain. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you're fast in Spain. I didn't know that. Nice.
It doesn't actually look, it's raining outside today. So
okay.
Everyone will be happy to hear that, because no one likes to hear some smug guy down in the south of Spain who's got the sun shining outside.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay. So if I have to conclude with, not to conclude, if I have to make my testimony about the three words about business messaging, I think that we have to be faster, because I think that we're really very slow. Okay. We have to be better, and we have to be more responsible, because we are not so responsible in this industry. You know, it's like, I'm going to send the messages, and no matter what's going to happen, the point I'm going to take the money and this is it, you know. This is the things that, but for sure you are right, there's a lot of things that we have to do. It's a growing industry, and you know, imagine that 5 years ago, we were asking that if SMS is going to be alive in the next 5, and we're talking about the revolution of business messaging now, with the SMS to remain the king, no matter the RCS and the rest. And yeah, this is very good for us. It seems that we're going to have bread to eat the next 10 years of our lives. So guys, that was it for today. I would like to thank you all. I would like to thank you, Martin. Thank you, Etienne. Thank you, Kevin, for being here with us. It was a pleasure to have you here. Tim, thank you very much. Helen, pleasure to see you. Scott,
thank you.
We're going to meet again soon, I suppose.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best, and see you in Berlin, maybe, yeah? Okay?
Yeah.
Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andreas. Thank you.